Have you met Ernie? He's a very popular bird and thankfully he is behaving himself for now. Find out later on Community Life how he is helping to bring some Christmas cheer to the residents of the Castle Lodge Care Home in Antrim. Also today, could you volunteer to help people living with an acquired brain injury?
People might think that somebody who's a brain injury, life nearly stops with them. When they come in here, it's certainly enriched. And I have to say, my life has been enriched by coming here as well.
First though, on Community Life, Dan Gordon has been looking at the work of the Community Foundation, a charity that connects people who care with causes that matter.
At the height of the Troubles, the Labour government set up the Northern Ireland Voluntary Trust. It was a way to make grants to community projects that were beyond the government's reach or too controversial to fund directly because of the intense political sensitivities and poor relationships between the government and some communities. Almost 40 years later, the Trust is now known as the Community Foundation for Northern Ireland. And since 1979, the charity has awarded over £100 million to communities right across the country. Let's go and find out some more. Hello, Shifa.
Hello, Dan. How are you?
Good, thanks. So, tell me about the Community Foundation.
OK, we're a charitable trust that connects people who care to causes that matter. And essentially, Dan, we do two things. We steer funding and resources where they're needed most in Northern Ireland, and we encourage generosity by helping donors to give when, where and how it matters to them.
And what is it that matters today?
Today we're seeing huge need in mental health issues, in poverty and disadvantage, loneliness, isolation amongst young and old, and a widening gap between the rich and the poor. So what the Community Foundation will be focusing on today will be all of those issues, empowering communities to change lives wherever they are.
So, you've got a bit of spare cash, or you'd like to leave something to a good cause. Well, let's meet someone who's done exactly that. Jimmy, why did you set a trust up?
Well, it was in memory of my wife, Anne McGeaney, that we decided to set it up. Anne, unfortunately, and very untimely, died from lung cancer. And it was in the back of that in terms of the work that she was involved with and the activities she was involved in, her life's work in terms of building peace and working in communities.
Or how do you think Anne would feel having the Anne McGeaney Fund named after and all the work and projects they've been involved in so far?
I think she'd be immensely proud that, you know, we wanted to do something, and given that there's money going to do good things to people that she would have been pleased to work with and pleased to help with, she'd be immensely proud of that happening. And should given that Holly and Daisy, our two daughters, are both involved as well, should love that, to see that as well.
People like Jimmy have contributed more than £1.8 million over the last 10 years. And every year, more people come forward. Through the Community Foundation, people of all ages and from a wide range of backgrounds get the support that they need. Let's go and meet some of them. Max is a charity which helps children and young people who haven't had a fair deal. They may have experienced a range of issues, including those associated with leaving care, or they generally need support. Their Muddy Paws service, backed by the Community Foundation, helps young people to help themselves. It's a dog walking and grooming service which increases the skills and business potential of everyone involved.
The Community Foundation has given us the funds that we needed to actually set up the enterprise. They supported us through the workshops, which the young people attended as well, to design our idea and to come up with the entire concept. And because of them, we can now go ahead and open Muddy Paws and get it up and running as soon as possible.
I didn't necessarily think things were going to get better, but now it's just, I think things are going to get better. I can see the small changes. Like, other people can see the small changes. Like, they're not massive, but they're small enough to make a massive difference in my life.
Atlas Women's Centre in Lisburn provides adult training, learning and support. And thanks to funding from the Space and Place programme, which the Community Foundation delivers for the Big Lottery Fund, it is now a fully refurbished premises which includes a creche and a cafe. Activities and courses are offered to women, men, young people and children in the centre.
And we will float our arms up, just our shoulders.
The Community Foundation helps people of all ages. The Rostrevor Men's Shed is a good example. It received funding from the Murlock Foundation to help tackle loneliness and isolation that can be found in men, particularly in their later years. What's happening here?
We're making a Tommy out of perspex, and they're all people from Rostrevor who died in the First World War. In the church, when they told the stories and when you looked up and you seen the Tommy, it made it very real for you. You know, you really felt for that person, that they became alive again just for that brief period.
Anyone, Dan, considering making a donation to charity or leaving a gift in their will, or who needs further information about community need, should get in touch with the Community Foundation. We're here to help them, to help others.
Now, the Community Foundation will match any donation you make to help support the people who need it most. And it would be great if you could help. Thank you.
If you would like to make a donation to the Community Foundation, then go to our website and you'll find more details at communityfoundationni.org. Now, any of us at any point in our lives can suffer from an acquired brain injury, and for some, life will never be the same again. But if you would like to volunteer for a Newry charity, you can make a real difference to people's lives. Christmas crafts are being made for sale here at Head Injury Support this week, made by the people of all ages who suffered a brain injury through an accident, a health problem, and shockingly, sometimes as a result of a physical assault. Volunteers help to enrich the lives of people here.
I'm great now. Without this place, I honestly have to say I don't know where I'll be. You know, because I wouldn't want to be sitting in the house doing nothing.
Doing all this sort of work seems to help the brain. That was about it. It seems to have that effect on it. After the day I've been here, when I leave, I'm more or less in better form and much happier.
The volunteers that we have here, we've got great feedback from them in that they tell us just how much that it gives to them as well as what they're giving over. We couldn't do what we do without volunteers, so they're really, really appreciated.
People might think that somebody who's a brain injury, life nearly stops with them. When they come in here, it's certainly enriched. And I have to say, my life has been enriched by coming here as well.
If you'd like more information, then contact Anne on 028 3083 3728 or at anne@headinjurysupport.org.uk. Ernie here has been specially trained for AAT, or Animal Assisted Therapy, and he has definitely been a tonic for the residents here at the Castle Lodge Care Home.
Ernie's just like one of the birds. We currently have about 35 birds at the sanctuary.
Ernie the cockerel and Dara the Jack Russell are provided by Cross Kennan Lane Animal Sanctuary, and Carol and her pals are always guaranteed a big welcome here.
I have found that people get the confidence. It opens channels for people to have conversations. You know, people who sit maybe quiet are actually more engaging, and it just brings people more alive and gets that activity back in their lives.
What do you get from it? The roosters that come in, the chickens, the dogs?
It's lovely seeing the animals. I love them.
Is it calming, Margaret? Do you find it relaxes you?
Oh, yeah. You like them, don't you?
Oh yes, I like it when there's a wee dog or something to come in.
I think this dog is one of the best.
Aww. Well, that is it for this week's Community Life. Contact details for today's charities can be found on our website. Until the next time, bye-bye. We're dark and